You are listening to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where illumination and inspiration is but a click away. With so many genre topics for you on everything that you need to know in life. We celebrate and share the people who have taken the journey before you and who are now here to serve you with their wisdom and their knowledge. The next show coming up is... Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Choose Positive Living right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sara Troy, and we have the wonderful Jeanette DePatie back with us again. She's been with me here before. She's exciting, she's exuberant, and she is a full-size body who knows how to make it active and helps other people to be active in life. It's not about the size of you, it's about what you do with it. How do you stay healthy? How do you stay active? Size should never be a problem, nor your health. So we're going to be talking about how you can age actively and stay healthy, have fun doing it, and just look at life in a different way. And I promise you, you will. There's a show I did with her some time ago, and there's something she did in Times Square in New York, which I thought was pretty awesome. It was a hot flash dance. So everybody who was having those hot flushes were out there having a flash dance in Times Square. This is the kind of person she is. She always looks for making something exciting, and you forget that you're being active, which is kind of the way we want to get you. She's professional in this business. She goes and helps people, doesn't matter with disabilities of shape, sizes, or anything, and helps them be active according to what they can manage. But most importantly, enjoy it. Because I know, oh, aches and pains, I don't feel like doing it, or I'm tired today, I don't want to get out there. And it's how do you make it into a routine that you look forward to by making it fun. So Jeanette, welcome back to the show, love.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you today.
And we have a beautiful pooch in the background there, so I'm going to be virtually hugging it every now and again.
Hi.
Join the vibe.
Yeah. She knows how to chill. She's very, very good at it.
And that's good. Yes, and it's that's also something that we also have to look at, isn't it? We're living in very stressful times. I don't think I know anybody that's not under some form of stress. And that can cause health problems. It also causes you to hold on to weight. And then, people get sluggish and they go, oh, but I used to do this. I can't do this anymore. Or the stress is tiring me out. How do we de-stress? Let's look at that one to open up with. How do we de-stress? By stepping into some form of exercise, no matter what our physicality is or our shape is.
Well, I think a lot of how we de-stress with exercise depends on how we approach exercise. Mm-hmm. So if we look at exercise as yet another thing we have to do and some sort of punishment because we don't think our body is the right way, it really adds to the stress in your life, and that's not what you want. However, if you can find some sort of exercise that can be fun and entertaining and something you look forward to, then it really can help minimize the stress in your life. And a lot of it depends on your workout personality, your workout style, and finding the thing that's right for you, because not everybody's the same.
Right. There isn't a one size fits all, as we know, in everything in life, right? It doesn't matter your size, your lifestyle, everything. There is not one solution for everybody. And we just have to be willing to take the journey to discover what's right for us.
I think that's really true. So I think some people are very solitary exercisers, and for them, exercise is a more meditative process. So they'll go for a long walk or a long run, and they may meditate or pray even while they're doing that activity. And that's one approach. Not so much my approach, but I think that's a great approach. Mm-hmm. Some people have a very high intensity approach to exercise, and they want a coach that's going to be fierce and that's going to get them to really work to their full capacity. But a lot of people just don't want to take exercise that seriously. They know it's important, but they just really want to relax and have a good time and dance to songs about chickens. And those are my pieces, right? Song about chickens, it's probably in my repertoire.
We don't want another duty to do, right? Mm-hmm. Another chore to do. We want to do something because we have fun doing it. Right. I used to, with my kids, kind of put on Queen dance to We Are the Champions or whatever. And it was always, let your sillies out. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're all dancing around, everybody's throwing arms in different ways. Who cares? We're moving, we're having fun, we're laughing, we're singing along at the top of our voice. And that's an exercise in itself, but it lifts everyone up. So
I
this
think that,
seriousness is something we've got to take out of exercise, right?
well, I mean, there are people for whom that is the right approach. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what floats your boat, if that's what motivates you, then awesome. But for a lot of people, that form of exercise is uncomfortable and intimidating. And so for those people, that approach would not be very comfortable. By the way, we have found a 24-hour all Queen streaming channel. And one of the things that my husband and I do, and I've done with my little nieces, well, they're not little anymore, they're getting married, but when they were little, is I would just holler out dance party, and we would all run to the living room and flip on a song and just dance for 1 or 2 songs, 3 to 6, 7 minutes. That's enough to sort of shake off the cobwebs, and then you can go back to work in a different frame of mind.
We have so many people today, like myself, the computer. You know, I could be here 8 hours a day easily, especially when the computer's running slow. So not only are you getting frustrated and tense, but you're sitting in a position and you shouldn't be, because your body needs to move. One needs to, if you're in this, because so many people now are behind the computer to run their business. You know, what kind of exercise would you suggest that they do? Take a break, have a pause. What would you suggest that they do to kind of shake those sillies out and get the body moving?
Well, one of the first things I'm going to suggest is that you just get a plain old kitchen timer, you know, one of those big dial timers. And I set mine for 20 or 30 minutes. So that every half hour or so, it's going to make a loud noise and remind me, okay, it's time to get up off the chair and move around. So the break part of it is sort of the first piece. And there's a lot of different things that you can do. I mean, one exercise that I often do in my chair, I'll just roll back a little bit and show you here, is just a stretch where you lift up, and then you go forward, and then you go down, and then you go back. I mean, it's just a matter of loosening up your back. You can go do a few house laps. That's something I've done a lot. You just walk around the house a couple of times. It's even better if you can get outside and catch a little vitamin D. And the little fresh air helps sort of give you a new perspective and helps you sleep at night. So any of those things, dance party, that's something I've done, or, you know, those are all things that you can do to just shake it up and get out of your head and back into your body for a little while.
I mean, not only are you being kind to your body, but you've also kind of shaken things off, and you come back with a different clarity and a different enthusiasm. Instead of, oh God, this is a chore and it takes so long. You know, now you come back, you feel refreshed, and everything seems to go faster. It goes slow when you're feeling sluggish. So if you've given yourself a little rejuvenation, everything now seems to speed up, and there's more enthusiasm of what you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the other thing that I recommend as far as exercise for people of all ages is to find a crew, right? Find some people that are fun and ridiculous and like-minded that you really look forward to seeing every week. Because I think for many of my students, it's really as much about the social part of it as it is about the exercise part of it. And that can be an online crew. Maybe that's people from a live stream that you're meeting every week, or people that you meet in person. But that social and interpersonal connection is another angle to this whole exercise thing, especially as we age, and in some cases we're widows or widowers, and we might slip into isolation. That emotional connection really helps with longevity and quality of life.
So find a tribe.
Find a tribe, yes.
And of course, with the computer, you could all just kind of put on Queen, and you can all be on Zoom at the same time, all exercising at the same time, laughing and egging each other on. So if you can't physically meet due to weather or location, who says you can't do it here?
Well, I'm going to be starting up some new live streaming activities pretty soon on Facebook. So people should check me out at The Fat Chick on Facebook. and join my group, and you will know about our next sort of spontaneous dance party. So you can
Excellent.
move along wherever you live in the world.
Perfect. And that's what we need, because we've got to understand this is here. It's not going anywhere. You know, virtual is becoming even more so. So then go with the tide. Stop trying to go against it. And you're doing this on Facebook, where you can just have, you know, okay, time everybody, you know, and just get into it.
Yeah.
You're bringing people together. Now
Mm-hmm.
they can start commenting, meeting. Oh, I didn't know you were my neighbor.
Right. Right. I mean, it's so interesting because some of my strongest exercise supporters now are literally 3 houses away, and we didn't know each other until we had a house party a couple of years ago, and now they dance with me 4 or 5 days a week.
Right, right.
So.
And I think there's something about the world today where we have everybody at our fingertips, but we've become more isolated in so many ways. I'm, not a pack person. I'm very kind of solo, but I take myself for walks, and I go for coffee, and I go for places, and I'm extremely happy to talk to someone next to me. You know, I'm extremely happy to start a conversation. And I live in wonderful Victoria, BC, where it is an international city, and you never know who you're going to meet from where. And but I'm okay to put myself out there. And I know so many other people that aren't. And so you really do have to make the effort some way. Don't dismiss this machine, because it is one that can actually guide you to people that you find out are just, a town away, or a few houses away, streets away, or there's a local place you can both go and meet, because you don't know where it's going to lead you. And then, as you said, they could be your dance partner, your exercise partner, or just become a damn good friend.
Right. And, it's funny because I take Molly out a lot, and so a lot of people, I don't know their names. I just know their dog's names. So I'm like, that's Fido's mom, and that's Spot's dad. An animal can really change.
Yes, they meet, and I'm a dog accoster because I lost mine 3 years ago. So when I walk down the street and I see a dog, I have to please let me hug, and it's a great icebreaker.
It really is. Yeah.
So we've got the stress. It's take the mindfulness before you get so wound up and go, oh, I notice the claws are coming out. What can I do to de-stress? So maybe you walk away from your computer and you put on a silly dance, but maybe you're in the office and you can't. So, other than kind of just stretching in the seat, is this something that people can do in the office, or at retail work, being standing all day and, just everything is just feeling cramped up? Have you got some ideas for people there?
Sure. One thing that you can do almost anywhere is isometric exercises. So you can take various muscle groups in your body and squeeze them real tight and hold it. Keep breathing while you're doing that, but hold it real tight for 10 or 15 seconds and then release. Even that little bit of activity will both build strength in your muscles and get oxygen into your body and help you relax and focus on what's in front of you.
Like a contraction.
Like a contraction, right?
Yes.
Squeeze everything together and just clear it all up.
Yep.
Open it up and go, and you make it big. And that process kind of loosens up the hinges a bit, get a little oil in the hinges. If you work in a retail location, it's tough. Standing is hard on your body. So maybe on your lunch hour, if you can go for a little walk, or a lot of times now there are sort of courtyards where you can do a little chair stretch and reach down and really loosen up those hamstrings and relax those parts of your body that tend to tense up when you stand. Also, if you stand all day, you're really going to want to work on your abdominal muscles, because the posture tends to go with the abdominal muscles weakening. Everything kind of gets out of whack, and certain things get stretched in the wrong way, and that can lead to pain. But pain is an issue. I mean, we should talk about for real.
Yes. I'm going to talk abdominal muscles while we're still on that. You do not have to have a six-pack to have abdominal muscles, right?
Very few people are genetically capable of achieving a six-pack, no matter what they do. I have a keg. It's magnificent, and a keg is better than a six-pack anyway. But That's not really what's important. It's not important what they look like. It's important the strength that they have, because a lot of times pain in the body comes from imbalance, where one set of muscles is much stronger than the other, right? So for most people, the fronts of their bodies, well, okay, quadriceps, that's the front of your thighs. Most people are stronger than the hamstrings, and that's the muscles on the back of your thighs. So that balance tends to pull the hips and the knees out of alignment. If the abdominal muscles are not as strong as the back muscles or the gluteal muscles, which is very common, then that tends to get pulled the other way. So it's really good to think about all of those different places in your body where you need muscle balance. Biceps, triceps, pectoral versus rhomboids and trapezius, so that you can really have that balance. Really helps avoid pain all the way through the body, the whole kinetic chain.
Yeah, so don't be fooled, that you have to be, a body workouter to have that. It doesn't matter what the size you are, you can still strengthen those muscles in order to keep your body in balance. So
and as a matter of fact, looking fantastic is not necessarily mean that your body is functioning in a way that's fantastic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, again, don't assume. Right. It all comes down to kind of what we're individually doing for ourselves. And I think a lot of it is know thyself.
Absolutely. And know thy physician, right? Find somebody who can help you. If you're in pain, there's a lot that physical therapists and podiatrists can do. I mean, it may be as simple as needing a new insert in your shoe or a new shoe. Right. And that might be, your neck pain, your shoulder pain, your hip pain, your back pain, your knee pain, your ankle pain. Any of that can come from your feet not being in the right position. So it starts from the bottom and works its way up.
Yes. I mean, the Chinese use the foot for the bottom there, and we've got to remember that all those pressure points at the bottom of our feet go straight up, right up to the brain and down again. So yes, look after those feet. Don't go and wear those uncomfortable shoes just because they are the fad.
Nope.
Comfort. I paid the price and now it's comfort.
I don't have those shoes anymore. I'm like, forget about it. Yeah. There is nothing in life as important as not being in agony.
Yes. Exactly. Comfortable shoes are sexy.
Yeah.
You wanted to take us.
Miserable is not sexy.
No. It definitely is. And you kind of see young ones, which I did, walking around in the stiletto heels, and they're partly leaning forward, and they're in agony, but they're trying to kind of look long and sexy and slinky, and all you can hear is ouch, ooch, ouch, ooch as they walk. So don't do it to your body, please.
Nope.
Now, you wanted to take us down another avenue, but I had to hit the stomach muscles first, though.
Right. Don't hit my stomach muscles. Ouch. Seriously, though, I want to talk about pain, because as we get older, this is something we experience more and more, including me. I mean, we play this game every day. Do I need to call the doctor, or am I just 50? Right? There's this game we play. Because things change as we get older, and they work differently, and anybody who tells you different is either exceptionally lucky or lying.
Right.
Yeah. So there is a tendency when we're in pain to want to slow everything down and lay down and rest. And there are times when that's appropriate, like when you have an acute injury, when you've strained or sprained or broken something, absolutely. But when you're talking about those age-related, arthritis-related pains, it's better if you can to keep moving. And as hard as it is sometimes to get myself started, I always feel better afterwards. And I have many students who say the same thing. But I do want to acknowledge it's hard. So I tell my students, you only have one step you have to do. There's only one bit of choreography you must learn, and that's the get your butt in the door of the class step, right? That's it. Yes. And everything after that is optional, because getting in the door is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you see your friends, the music's pumping, you're going to dance, you're going to have a great time. The real challenge is that moment where you've only got a 15-minute window to either get out of bed and make it happen or not make it happen.
Right.
That's the critical moment. And that's where you have to have this sort of delayed gratification thing and say, I know I will feel better. I'll just go. If I hurt too much or I'm unhappy or I'm not feeling it, I don't have to do it.
Right.
Most people, once they're there, they're like, here, might as well.
And when you are there, it doesn't mean you go full force. You know,
No.
you might only be in first gear. That's fine.
That
Right?
is,
There are some days you can get into fourth gear. Hallelujah. But don't feel, oh, I've got to get into fourth gear and push myself. And no, then you hurt yourself. Again, listen to your body.
I think that's really true. And that's one of the reasons that I have always formulated my classes as either sitting or standing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care how fit you are or how strong you are, everybody has good days and bad days.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to adjust down to make it so easy for everybody that they don't get any benefit, right? So if you do a fully seated class, unless you're dealing with a very deconditioned population, it's not challenging enough.
Right.
That said, not everybody's ready or able on any given day to do a 60-minute standing workout.
Right.
So we always say sitting and standing are equally awesome. And you just pick from moment to moment, from song to song, how you feel. And if you feel like you can do that.
You know, I suffer from fibromyalgia and a few other things that go along with that.
Yeah.
And I certainly can't run. You know, I just can't. I can walk at a certain pace. Walking's fine for me. Swimming is fine for me, as long as I'm flat. You know, flat ground, not hills or stairs and things. And because one of the things they say about fibromyalgia is that just an everyday walking about doing things is an aerobics for us. And this kind of got me really frustrated because I do love to dance, I do love to do things, and then I can't, because if I don't, I crash. So it's knowing your limits, it's knowing exactly what you can do, and don't try and be what you were before. Try and learn to listen to your body now. What can you do within those parameters? And I've got days where I can walk into town, I can walk around. I had my daughter and her son and her husband here over the weekend. And I said to him, it's mama's walk, not your walk, because they walk marathons, but still mama's walk. I'm still trying to keep up. And I knew I was going to crash on Monday. I knew it. I'm going to pay the price for it. But don't deny yourself doing some things, but do allow yourself the recovery time. Don't beat yourself up because you can't do, I've got friend, I'm turning 65 in a month. I've got hosts on here that are 60 that are still dancing, that are working out. I mean, they're toned, they're wonderful, absolutely gorgeous. And they're the lucky ones that still have, the ability to do that. Don't compare, because this is your body that you've been given. You've got to live within your parameters. It doesn't mean there's a weakness or a failure or anything else. This is just your baggage. Deal with it and do what you can with it, right? Because that attitude is really important on how we look at it, isn't it?
I think so. And I think here's the thing about comparing it. You never really know exactly what somebody else is going through. Some things are visible, some things are not visible. You don't know what the challenges are in their life. And it really doesn't matter because it's kind of none of our business.
Right.
I think, it's really about my body today. Where is my body today? What can I do with my body today? And some days it's taking a shower. That's it. That's what you do. And that's okay if that's where your body is today. I've helped a lot of students come back from heart surgery, come back from strokes, come back from really challenging situations, little by little by little. But I will tell you that if you can find a good group of loving people to hang out with, that recovery will happen faster.
Yeah.
So my students that are lucky enough to live nearby, they recover really fast because they've got their peeps and they know that they're going to be calling and asking about them, and they better wheel their walker right in the gym because they come with their walkers and canes, and then they gradually improve. But nothing is promised. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And so it's really about finding a little bit of joy and a little bit of love in each day when you can.
And then, you know, what you're offering in the group setting, even like on Facebook, where anybody else is in the world, a lot of people, especially when they step into a physicality that is challenging, feel alone.
Yes.
Right? You know, you feel, well, this is a personal attack on your body, your psyche, your life, and you feel alone, and you don't want to burden other people with it because nobody wants to know, and that isolates you even more. So, you know, being a part of a group, you know, where you're going to do your best, you're going to start the conversation. You're going to find that somebody else has got an issue. Maybe not yours, but something else. How do you manage that? Let's support each other. You know, let's cheer each other on, or let's just give each other nurturing when we need it. The thing is, don't be alone, right?
I think that's really true. And if you can find a way to laugh, it's so much better.
Yeah.
I laugh so much in my class. And, you know, we laugh about the things that happen. Like one of my students could never remember Mustang Sally. So now that song is Mustang What's Her Name. It'll be that forever. Because you can, some people choose to fight aging, and that's okay. That's an approach. Mm-hmm. But my approach is to laugh about it, because it is, and some days it's a bitch. It just is, you know, and you just have to kind of make the best of it. And okay, you know, that's a new thing, and deal with it as best you can. But you know, that's why I work so hard. And when we have chicken songs, and we have songs with feather boas, and we have, you know, crazy songs in French, and all of these different things with joke words and stuff, because laughing is another kind of therapy. And if you can get social, exercise, and laughing all at the same time, that's like the trifecta for me. That's like a big win.
And you know, it doesn't matter if you have to wear the Depends because you're laughing so much, you know.
Yes, laughing since a hysterectomy is different than laughing before.
Yes,
I've discovered.
And you know, as you said,
like a bonus that you get a bonus.
You're going to find there's more people in common in the same boat, right? And it's just a question, how did they deal with it? And you know, some people can push through, but I know doesn't matter how much you push through and try and ignore that you have something, it's going to push back at some point, right? You know, as Popeye says, I am what I am, you know, and this is who I am right now. This is my body, and I have to learn to live with it. Now, and of course, when you do have something, people don't see it, right? And then, but when it comes into you doing something, well, why can't you do that? You know, the exterior looks all right, but the interior can't do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And you know, the thing is just to say, I know my limits. I know my limits, right? Don't let anybody else impose on you. Well, I can do that.
Right.
Don't let anybody impose on you. Well, I can't. You know?
Well, and understanding that certain types of limits are going to be different every day of the week. I mean, some days you're going to be able to do certain things that the next day you can't. But like one thing, I have it written on a Post-it note right next to my desk, and I look at it every day. And that is, I am not a persona. I'm a person. And that's okay. Right? I think some of us have gotten to this point in our lives where we try to be a persona, this perfect view of what we wear and how we look and what's on our Instagram and all of that stuff. And that just creates an enormous amount of pressure to live up to this sort of ideal of perfection that I find is really destructive. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I say, no, I don't have it all figured out. I have days where I exercise. I have days where I say hell with it and I sleep in. That happens, you know. I have days where I feel great. I have days where I'm in pain. I have days where I feel young. I have days where I feel 104 years old. That's life. That's what it's like to be a real person. And I think when you give yourself permission to be a real person in the world, to show yourself as a real person in the world, and give up the idea of sort of managing your persona, life gets a lot easier.
Yeah, you know, there's there's days you're going to feel fat, there's days you're going to feel thin, there's days you're going to feel gorgeous, there's days you're going to feel like back end of a bus, and that is just life. It's just as what's happening to you, what are you dealing with, how well did you sleep, how well are you eating,
Is
and
it Tuesday? I mean,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, and the thing is again, we're looking at more and more people today who are facing challenges. Yet the media is up there giving us Barbie and Ken and the housewives. But then when you look at them and all the plastic surgery and the tucks and the this and that, if you could afford those treatments, would you go and do them? Or do we just accept ourselves the way we are? I think when we look at the amount of death that we see out there today, I think we have to be grateful for aging. We've still got the gift of life in our hands. What are we going to do with it? And have a moan and a bitch now and again when you feel miserable, all right? Get it off your chest, but don't get stuck there.
I think that's true. And I think, it's easy to sort of blame the media for this obsession, but it's really about something that happens inside of us.
Yep.
Because we so desperately want to believe that we can control everything, right? So we want to believe that, if I take my ginkgo biloba and I do the crosswords every day, I'm not going to have dementia. And if I, you know what I mean? And if I go for a walk and I take the dog twice a week, I'm never gonna die. I'm gonna live forever because I ticked all the boxes, right? Yep. So as consumers, we love to read these things because we want to be reassured. I'm never going to get sick and I'm never going to die because I did the right things. Unfortunately, that's completely not true.
Right.
And so I think the media is just giving us what we ask for, which is false promises about life. And I think it's sort of our responsibility as consumers to say, going to accept that I really have things in my life I can control and some things that I can't, and that's okay.
Don't let it affect your self-esteem.
Yeah, well, it's going to affect your self-esteem, but do the best you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is like what I said about this persona thing is most of the time I feel great about myself. Not every day. Right. I have days. I have crabby days. I have, we all do. But I think it's about finding techniques that allow you to be happier and healthier in the long run. And most of the time, those techniques are about finding a friend, finding a good laugh, and giving yourself a break.
Right. And moving.
Moving.
But the thing is, it's not just about physical moving. It's about not being stagnant in your persona or your thought or your past. Life is fluid. It's constantly keep moving. I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70, 80. I live with an 86-year-old. She still drives. She still works. She's got more energy than I have. We were down at the Splash Symphony on the Water here in Victoria the other day, and at one point they said, we want you to get up and dance. I was kind of boxed in and I was filming it, and she just got up. She's busy dancing along. She's just, she's a sprinter in life, exuberant. She gets so much joy out of it. We get bogged down by so much on the news and the expectation and other people's opinion and what we should be, that we forget about who we are and what we love to do and celebrate it.
I think that's true. But I'm also going to tell you there's a wonderful gift that comes as we get older called disinhibition, right? When we're younger, we're like, ooh, I can't do that. People might not think I'm cool. And, you get to be 100 and you've got your underwear on your head, right? There's a spot in between where you're gradually learning to really care less about how people perceive you or how you're being seen. And like one of my favorite things about my classes is, in my senior classes, this disinhibition thing, if you encourage it, it grows real fast, and they just don't care anymore if they look ridiculous. I'm like, you're gonna flap your arms like a chicken. They're like, okay, we're chickens.
And believe me, they flap at a certain age.
Yeah, they do. I got hello, goodbye arms too. That's okay. But it's really about that is a gift that comes as we get older, if we allow it into our lives, is to just say the heck with it.
I like the butler from Gone in the Wind. Quite frankly, I don't give a damn, you know. And I think we have to lighten up, don't we? You know, there's times to be serious. There's times where you have to be diligent and pay attention. But I think
Absolutely.
if we lighten things up, we not only release the stress, um, we find more joy and laughter and exuberance in life. And then we realize that all that seriousness that was overdone. You know, it was living up, you know, my shows, I can say, a common denominator is if people are living up to other people's expectation.
Yeah.
And not being true to who they are.
Yep.
And, you know, our life's journey, no matter what our age, is about being true to who we are, living from the inside out, without any apologies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, black, white, pink, polka dot stripes, fat, thin, who cares? You know, it's about how true to who you are, what's your beautiful purpose in life, and how do you contribute?
I think that's true. I've not met anybody yet who said, I need to find more reason in my life to be serious. There's plenty in life to be serious about. There is. And, you know, I've spent more time visiting friends and family in hospital rooms over the last 2 years than I really care to admit.
Right.
So when there are those times that you need to be present and you need to really be in compassion and focused on those things, then you need to do that. But any chance I get to get out of that space, I'm going to get out. I'm going to take every opportunity I can, because life gives us plenty of things that are serious. But actually, life gives us plenty of things that are ridiculous if you learn to look.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, quite honestly, if you try to make sense of what's going on in the world, you're going to get into a depression. I promise you. You know, I do occasionally, because again, as an empath, I keep feeling all these things. And it's like, oh my God, human beings, what are you doing?
I know.
You know, why are you taking this so serious? This person has a different faith. This person has a different skin. This person has a different, you know, sex. This person has a different that. So what? So what? Why not? Oh, what's your culture? What do you do in your culture? Oh, let's try some of that, right? Why do we get to know each other instead of this constantly, you know, I'm better than you? And that conflict is all the insecurity that lies within us. And I think we get caught up in this wave of what's going on around us. And really, we do need, you know, another flash dance out there in every city in North America of just lighten up, you know, go and hug somebody different.
I do want to be careful though, because I think that there's a range of where we need to be. And I don't want to put my head in the sand and not deal with the very serious problems facing the world right now. Because it's tempting, right? Because doing the work of coping with oppression is difficult and draining and often not very rewarding. But if I want to have a life and a world that's joyful for me, but also joyful for everybody, I have to balance my relaxation, have a great time, go dance side with some very serious work to make the world better. And so I don't want to just, I don't want to be flip about that, because I think there is a tendency to move that way because doing the work is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and you know, we're all going to face something that's uncomfortable in life. That's just part of living. We're all going to face adversity and challenges and very uncomfortable things happening to you from other people all around you. And you know, there are going to be times we don't know what to say, we don't know what to do. And you know, sometimes it's just a question of be loving, be kind, be caring. And you know, and first and foremost, I think, be it to yourself.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just be it, you want, you know, give it, you want to be it. Be the kindness that people seek, be that hug, be that caringness.
Yes.
Don't just do it when people feel, you know, somebody's, you're just doing it and kind of being condescending. No, be it, care. But you can't get into that caringness for other people until you get into that caringness for yourself.
I think that's true. But I think that part of it is to give the love, give the hugs, be the listener, be
Mm-hmm.
warm and be open. But part of it, and maybe the hardest part, is loving people enough to be willing to call them out.
Yes.
Behave in a way that's hurtful to other people. You know, like in my class, when somebody says something that's hurtful, I don't have the luxury of ignoring that. It's my job to curate that class and to make sure that everybody feels safe.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have to have very difficult conversations with people and say, no, that's not okay. You
Yeah.
can't do that. That's none of your business. And there have been times where I have said and done things that have been harmful and had to take people aside and say, I messed up. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to change it.
There's a new dialogue going on, isn't there? You know,
Yeah.
there's been an old paradigm of flippancy that
Mm-hmm.
now we're looking at, was where it used to be taken flippantly. Now we're looking at, no, this is more serious.
It's
There
life or
is,
death.
there's something attached to that. There's no longer funny.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes you just have to say to someone, are you aware of what that's really saying? Because, you know, that especially as we get older, we're still caught up with some old sayings. And so sometimes we have to be reminded, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves that perhaps that statement isn't apropos today.
Right. And I think a lot of it is, like I said, loving somebody enough to correct them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that means to have an awful lot of patience because it takes people a while to process it.
Yes.
And not everybody's going to be like, thank you so much for pointing out that flaw in my personality that I hadn't realized. I mean, that's not usually how it goes.
No, not normally. There's normally resistance. Yes.
You like that, and they're our best friends and drinking buddies, but not everybody's like that. And so it takes an enormous amount of patience, and it takes some work and consistency.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really think it's about balance. It's really about balancing the hard work
Mm-hmm.
with the joy and the reward, and balancing the silly and the fun with this is life and death serious, and balancing the need to keep moving and learning and trying new things, and the need to relax and take care of ourselves. There's that balance in the middle, and it shifts every second of the day. And that is one of the hard jobs I think we need to learn how to do.
The recipe has changed. The ingredients have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you're going to know whether you like the dish or not is to play around with the ingredients until you find a recipe you like. Right?
Yeah, and then know that you probably won't like it tomorrow because something else.
Right. Exactly. You feel different tomorrow, right? Your taste buds are different tomorrow. But
it's kind of like not a recipe in a way because, well, you know, it's more like cooking with fresh produce. You know, like are the tomatoes ripe today? They might not be ripe. And a BLT with ripe tomatoes is fantastic, and a BLT with unripe tomatoes is awful. And you have to kind of deal. You have to deal with what life is.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the great challenges. As we grow older, we're like, my God, I've been here X number of decades. I should have this figured out by now, right? But there is no figure out. You figure it out as you go along from the day that you're born until the day that you're not on this earth anymore.
There is no, when I reach that age. And I used to love talking to people who were, when I was young, that, 15, 16, think, by that time I'll be wise.
You're wise about certain things.
Yeah, you are. You get wise about certain things. But one thing you realize, there's a hell of a lot you don't know.
No. Or there are things that you know that are completely wrong.
Exactly.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah. And the thing that, I think attitude in life is the absolute key, and the ability to go with the flow, right? Mm-hmm. Make an effort. This whole about positive thinking, and no negativity in my life at all. That's not, that is Twilight Zone, head in the sand thing. Negativity is always going to be around you, but what are you going to do with it? Are you going to let it penetrate within you and bring you down? Are you going to combat it with positivity, or are you just going to combat it with caring and understanding, and understand that negativity is coming from a place of somebody's distress, right?
I think so. And I think if you're living a life where negativity is not allowed into my life, you're probably not
living
open in your life in a way that's very interesting, and you're probably not really accomplishing fantastic or cool or great things, because every time you do something amazing, there's pain. Every time. Every time you learn something new, there's this agonizing baby steps. How can this be so hard process? That's part of what it takes to do something new. And so I think, like I said, people who say they don't experience negativity are either one of those 5 incredibly lucky people on this planet, or they're lying to themselves.
Right. Yeah, because it's what we do. We can't avoid it. We can limit it.
Yeah.
Switch off the TV. You don't need to have it saturated all the time. But is this important to my life at the present moment? Do I need to take this on? Is it something I need to address? And if it's no, let it go. Right? But it always comes from a place, and you can't ignore it. It's deal with it, as with anything in life. I want to ask about, how do you get people physically active when they're in deep depression and they just want to go into a deep, dark cave?
There's no magic. Depression is a difficult and sometimes deadly disease. I mean, it's a mental illness, and there is no one easy answer for that. Usually fitness is part of a whole strategy of wellness that may or may not include medication, may include or may not include therapy. There's all different components of it. And sometimes for somebody in deep depression, taking a shower is what they can do that day. And that has to be okay if that's where they are in their recovery. I just try to focus on helping people find baby steps and find little bits of joy, and also find a way to feel successful. I think a lot of times fitness can make depression worse if we have really unrealistic expectations. And frankly, we are taught to have unrealistic expectations of exercise. I'm going to do this exercise and I'm going to look like a supermodel. Well, no, you're not going to look like a supermodel. You're not going to grow a foot taller overnight. That's not going to happen. But I think because we are taught to have those expectations, exercise can end up leaving us even more depressed. So a lot of it really has to be part of a multifaceted plan of health and wellness and nutrition and spiritual and mental guidance. But I guess what I do for my part is I try to help people find joy, and I really try to focus on helping them manage their expexptations so they feel like they win.
Right. Well, you're making it fun. And that's the thing is that, there are the people, the sports people that love to work 6 hours a day at the gym, and that's their gig.
Not me, right? But it's
not my gig at all. I don't want to go anywhere near a gym. For me, nature is it. But if I had an arena where I could go to, where there was no expectation for me to, you must do this, or 20 push-ups, or, jump higher. If I had that, I wouldn't go. But if I had a place where I could go, where, today I need to sit down to do my exercise, or I can get up for 2 minutes and shake my booty and then sit back down again, and there's no judgment, right? No judgment. That, I think, is the huge one. Judgment.
Yeah.
And we've got to drop that, because that pressure we're putting on ourselves and other people is not kind at all.
And sometimes we imagine it too, right? There's this idea where I often say, what you think about me is none of my business, because I don't know what another person is thinking about me unless they tell me, and most of the time they don't. So I'm making it up in my head. It's in my imagination. I figure I might as well imagine that they think I'm awesome.
Exactly.
Why would I not? I mean,
right.
that's gonna be the best tool for me. It may not be true, but who cares? Me thinking that they think I'm awesome, that's the best for me.
Right.
So I'm gonna imagine that.
Yeah, I say I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm somebody's strong cup of coffee.
Right.
We're not going to please everyone. We're not going to be able to address the needs of everyone.
Absolutely.
You've created a platform that suits people that still want to exercise, that want to have fun, and that want to do it in moderation with their own body, their own psyche, their own well-being on that day. And it's very important that we have that, because it was pushed and has been pushed for so long about body perfect, body image perfect, and also, to do with our age. We've got to be a certain weight, or we've got to be this, or we've got to be that. Now, yeah, it's not about the weight, it's about how healthy are you in your weight, right? That's the important thing. How healthy are you in your weight? If you're a bigger person, you're a bigger person. But
Right.
if you're a bigger person because you're not looking after yourself with your diet or exercise or anything else, then that's a different scenario. You are opening up to some health problems. But again, the ownership and responsibility on ourselves to know our body and what we need for ourselves and our well-being, we need to take charge of that.
Yes, but I'm gonna say this. I know I'm argumentative today.
No, give the arguments. That's the only way we learn.
I think it's important not to cross over into something called healthism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Health is not a barometer of worthiness, right?
Right.
In many ways, as my friend and fitness industry partner Reagan Chastain says, running a marathon and a Netflix marathon are morally equivalent ideas, right?
Commitment.
And I think sometimes there's this notion that we, if we make it completely our responsibility to be well, then we're making it our fault if we're sick. And I think that can lead to some places that are really not that helpful. I was just out with a very dear friend of mine last night who has been very sick. And she's like, well, I guess this and I guess this. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Back the bus up. You've been doing all the right things. You've been eating well. You've been meditating. You've been exercising. You've been doing all this stuff. You got sick. And yes. I'm sorry to tell you that, like I said, ticking off the boxes doesn't give you immunity.
Right.
And not ticking off the boxes doesn't guarantee you're going to get sick.
Right.
It's not that simple.
Right.
And I want to get us out of this place where there's a difference between taking responsibility for ourselves as a whole and taking responsibility for things that we aren't really responsible for.
Right. I mean, there are things that are out of our control. Things that happen to us, again, along with my disease, it came about 23 years ago. It's got worse as I got older, and it will. I'll do the best I can within what I can do. And I always get people suggesting, well, if you just did this, and if you just did that, and you should do that, and it's curable. And I know it isn't. It's manageable. Yes. Right? There is no cure for what I've got. It's manageable. It's what do I have to do to manage it, right? And, those days that you feel, I'm in power today. Yay! I'm boss. And there's other days it comes across and goes, taps you on the shoulder. Not today. That doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me a failure. It just makes me having to be in sync with my body. And, I've always got people telling me they can cure me in 10 seconds flat. But, good luck. I'm willing to try various things in the management of it, but I have what I have, and I am what I am, and I just have to live with that. And other people need to honor, what people are dealing with instead of making them feel guilty for having it.
Absolutely. And you know what? I would never in a million years look at you in the eye and say exercise can cure fibromyalgia. It can't.
Right.
It's a tool that you can put in your arsenal, and you may find incredibly helpful, or you may find not helpful at all. It's a tool, and it can be joyful, and it can be a wonderful thing. But everybody has to kind of use at your own risk. Your mileage may vary, and I think anytime somebody comes to me and says, if you just do this, I'm like, okay, I've already tuned you out because you're full of
right. Yeah, and it's generally the healthy people that do that.
Of course. Yes. Born on third, think they hit a triple, right? There's a lot of people that are healthy that it's really tempting when you're healthy to believe that you're healthy because of X, Y, and Z. Because in that thought process, as long as you continue to do X, Y, and Z, you will always be healthy.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's not how life works, but it sounds great, doesn't it? I mean,
yes.
So,
I mean, you know, there is the abuse of your body. And if you end
yes.
up getting something because you abused your body, yes, that's the price you're paying. You know, there's these other things that come and tap us on the shoulder and go, hello, I'm here to stay. You know, it is, you know, I think other people, because again, there's so many of us walking around with illnesses where we look fine on the exterior and they have no understanding what's going on in the interior.
Right.
So, and we don't want to impart it on people, you know, because really most people don't care. But at the same time, if they understood, they would actually understood how much of a struggle it was just to be there today.
Right.
Right. And have a different respect. So where is the line where you could say, yes, I have this, these are my limitations, accept me as I am, or don't, you know, and in a way that's what we want to say, isn't it? But we're all too polite to say it.
Not me. I'm not that polite. I mean, look, I got a DVD called The Fat Chick Works Out. I am unapologetic
right.
about who I am. And some people are really not fine with that, and that's okay. But I'm not going to pussyfoot around. I mean, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So, I'm not that polite about it. And when people say unkind or really untrue things, I am happy to sort them out and straighten them out if I have the energy and the
patience at the time.
Patience to deal with it at the time. Or if I feel if I have enough love to go around to gently correct, which, like I said, some days yes and some days no. But yeah, it is hard being unapologetically who we are. And part of being unapologetic about who we are is to not accept the role as poster child. Right? So it would be very easy for me to say, I'm the fat chick, but I'm the good fat chick. I'm the right kind of fat chick. And I never get sick and nothing ever happens to me. And I'm this, you know, I have a halo, right? It's tempting. But not only is that not true, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on me to be something that I'm not.
Right.
And maybe most importantly, it robs me of the ability to share with people who feel alone.
Because if you do that, then people go, well, I can never be like her, so therefore I can't relate. Right. And therefore I can't hear you because I'm not in your world. Right?
Or worse, I can't be like that. What's wrong with me?
Right.
Why can't I? And it's because oftentimes they're trying to live up to a persona's experience, not a person's.
Right.
Which is very different.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm kind of coming back around here, but I really feel like this is an important thing that I've been working on a lot in my life, especially as I get a little older and and hopefully, a little wiser.
We all get a little wiser whether we like it or not.
Right. You hope that you get it on the whisper as opposed to the 2x4 over the head.
Oh boy, yes. I've had a few of those in my time. Got a lot of concussion from them.
Yeah. But yeah, I really think that fitness, it's a wonderful thing. And making it fun is a wonderful thing. It's not a panacea. It doesn't fix everything.
Right.
Everybody doesn't experience it the same way. It doesn't help everybody the same way. It's a wonderful tool that helps some people a whole lot.
Well, the fact that you put it with laughter, you put it with just the silliness. You know, we know laughter is an excellent medicine. That what it releases from our body is absolutely amazing. We know that if people can get out there and be silly baggers the way they dance, and nobody's going to judge them. You know, oh God, look at the way she's dancing. You know, nobody's going to do that. Oh, look at the way she's dancing. I could be silly too, right? And get the joy out of doing it. And the way they feel, not only is the body feeling better, the stress is feeling better, the mind is feeling clearer. And, again, you stepped into the unapologetic, and it's, I think it's just, we forget, we've gone to exercise is serious. No, because if we make everything serious, we're bogging ourselves down with these expectations. If you make it something that's joyful that you want to do, with a group of people, with even on the computer, on your Facebook, getting up and doing it with the family around you, who cares, right? Come and join us. And having people being encouraged to kind of connect with one another and say, hey, let's do that together, to Jeanette's program, together while we're on Zoom, and make connections, because we want people to be connected. So, I really commend what you're doing, because you've taken this, I have to, out of it, into, I feel better when I do.
Yeah. One of the things that surprised me most about my new exercise video, this Everybody Can Exercise Senior Edition, is it's this DVD, and I have all of these older people dancing around and having a great time. And so they take it home and they do it at home, and the grandkids love it, and they want to join in. And there's something so awesome when you have an 80-year-old and a 6-year-old just rocking out together. It makes me so happy. But there's something sort of innocent and playful about both ends of that spectrum, if you allow it to.
Childlike. Just getting back to childlike, right? Yep. Just simply having fun because you want to have fun.
Right. And it's such a beautiful message for kids to see. Yeah. Oh, grandma's exercising with that funny lady, and grandma laughs when she watches the funny lady. And they start to see exercise in a joyful and healthy way that makes it much more likely that they're going to exercise in years to come.
Yes.
So
because a lot goes a long way, as opposed to intense now and again.
Right. Or shame-based, or
beauty-based.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when kids are, because, the kids that are that small, 6, 8, even 10 years old, they just see, oh, grandma's doing something, and, well, that means grandma's not paying attention to me right now, which is not acceptable. So join in, and they do it together. It's cool.
We want to get away from the have to the want to. Mm-hmm. And when we do something because we want to, we're going to do it more often because it makes us feel good and it's our choice. If it's you have to, we rebel against it, because naturally inside of us there's a rebellious nature. Yes. Right? We don't want to be told what we have to do, but show me something that I want to do, and I will be a part of it.
Right. I always say there's that moment in every exerciser's life where you have to decide if you're going to exercise or if you're going to watch a rerun of Game of Thrones. And if your exercise is boring or your routine sucks, winter's coming.
Yeah. Yes. And yet it's just, don't push yourself. Just allow yourself, right? Go and do it because you love it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't feel like it today. But you know what? I know I feel good when I do. So that's the nudging you want, not the pushing, the nudging, right?
And that's why I always tell my students, if you come to class and you don't feel up to it, and all you want to do is sit and watch and hang with us, that's cool. And sometimes, very occasionally, I've had somebody who's having a really rough day, and they just want to sit and laugh and listen with it, and that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. But like I said, there's that one inertial hump.
Yes.
I can watch another episode of this show, or I can sleep another 20 minutes. It's the getting out the front door of the house part. That is the hard part.
Yeah. So how much do you do online? How much do you do where people can come to you? Would you lay it all out for us of how people find you?
I'm just starting that up again in the next couple of weeks, the live part. You can buy my DVD on Amazon or on my website, everybodycanexercise.com.
That's everybodycanexercise.com.
Right, everybody. And you can also buy it on Amazon, and you can do my workouts. You can stream them or rent them or download them from Amazon Prime. And then we will be starting up with a live Facebook streaming, hopefully this weekend. We're working out the technical kinks right now.
Right. Well, you come on air next week, so you come on air on the 13th or 14th of August, so you'll be up.
By
then. And people find you there.
The best way is to just go to everybodycanexercise.com, and I will
be up there
posting details about how to get on the Facebook group and all of that stuff from that space.
And you know what, when you're on the group, encourage people to join, but encourage people to start speaking to one another.
Yes.
Start sharing. That's what Facebook is so good about, is interaction. Yes. Right? Get to know other people, you know, like, absolutely. What do they get out of it? How long have they been doing? Are they around the corner? Is it something you want to kind of do a conversation with that person? And it doesn't matter where they are, whether if they're next door in the same town or across the world. With this lovely device here, we can see people anytime, anywhere, and make connections.
Right. My exercise partner, guru, business partner, Reagan Chastain, and I also have a forum called Fit Fatties on Facebook, and we have thousands of people on that group, and they come on every week and they tell us the coolest things. I climbed a mountain today, I did a disco dance today, I went kayaking or rode a horse today, and yeah, that's really inspirational to see.
Yeah. And you know, it gives people permission, like, well, you know what, they've got the same problem as I have, if they've got this problem, and yet they've gone out and done this and they felt really good. What if I gave it a try? Right? What if I give something a try? So it's not pushing people, but it's inviting people, isn't it? You know, encouraging them to actually understand what they can do. Again, always listen to yourself from the inside out. If your body's in distress, don't do it. We don't want you to crash. But that doesn't mean you can't be a part of it, because the energy that you're creating is an energy that will become intoxicating and releasing in the body. So it's already doing you good, even if you're just around it, even if you're not a participant. And your own classes that you do, where do you do those?
I teach in Southern California, which is a long way, I think, from a lot of your listeners. But
America and California is a huge listenership there. So
yeah, so I'm in Irwindale, Duarte, and Monrovia, which is east of Los Angeles.
So if you go to the site, find out where the classes are. If you're in that area, go and join one.
Yes.
And but you know, most certainly get the DVD. Get a group of your friends together.
Yes.
You know, over in the living room, push the furniture aside, put it in, and just have some fun. You know?
I can't recommend that enough.
Right.
Find your fun, find a friend, and give yourself a break.
Right. And you know what? You know, I know we're only in August right now, but Christmas is around the corner.
That's right.
What a great gift to give to people, right? You know, giving them a DVD, even giving it to the family and saying, when grandparents are around, get the kids and everyone together and just make it a family event. Right?
And there are men and women dancing on
yes.
Too,
yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. It's not just women shaking their booty, right?
That's right.
Got a few men doing some talking there, right?
There's some wiggling going on all over.
Right? And don't underestimate however big the wiggle is. Little wiggle, big wiggle. It's all moving the body. It's getting the oxygen and the chi, the energy all running through the body. And that is the flow that we want. Because if your body has got that energy flowing through your body, it's releasing your mind, it's releasing your body. It's good for everything. But it's just good for your outlook on life as well. Right? Yes, that's absolutely. The attitude of gratitude. Yes.
Yes.
So everybodycanexercise.com and everything is there, and they can find out about all the Facebook things there as well and how they can join and be a part of it. They can get the DVDs from there as well as from Amazon, and you're on Amazon Prime too. Excellent. You've got no excuses, folks, right?
Not
you know.
no.
And, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are. You know, primarily we are a 30, 40 plus network here, but it doesn't matter what age you are here. You know, you may be somebody that even in your 30s cannot be very physical. This is still something that you could do at the office at lunchtime, right? Put it on, lighten everybody up, do some exercise, and you know, it just again brings everyone together. So it's not just for your 50 plus.
And it's not, if you do the full DVD standing up, it's not that easy. I mean, there's a good solid workout there. So it allows you to start small, but you can grow to a pretty serious workout with this thing if you're ready.
Now, is it downloadable from Prime Time? Because most people younger will put things on their phones. So is it downloadable?
From Amazon Prime, you can download it. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. See, look how technical you are. DVDs and downloads and
All
Facebook and
yeah. All the things.
Excellent. And that's the thing with life, right? It's like, you know, if everybody was still on the VCR, you wouldn't be getting anywhere. So
I remember those days. Yeah.
yes. The 8 tracks, yeah. So we're aging,
discs. Oh my God.
aging myself here, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And you know, age is a gift. I'm sorry, folks. You know, there's too many people that lose their life so easily. We've seen this recently from unnecessary violence. Age is a gift. You know, don't spend your life going around grumping and moaning. Be grateful for who you are, what you have around you, for the opportunities that you have, and seize the day. Right? Get out there and have some fun, whether it's just an ounce of fun or a pound of fun. Just get out and have some fun. So, what are you going to leave us with?
Opportunity to shake your booty.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, why do you think the Kardashians, you know, have the arse the way they do, right? You know?
Oh, that's a whole other show.
Yes, definitely. But the point is, have some fun with life and do it while moving. And you'll just see the rewards for it, you know, just the way you feel, the whole chemistry in your body, how it lifts you right up, and it's like a deep breath that you've taken. So thank you for doing this, Jeanette, and it's great to have you back on again.
It's my pleasure. I love speaking with you, and I really am grateful for the opportunity to share my thoughts.
Anytime. And please go back and listen to her other shows with me, Jeanette DePatie. Just put in her name here on selfdiscoverymedia.com and her own show page comes up with all her other shows on there. And you'll get to pick all the other shows, listen to all of them as you like. They're all downloadable. Of course, the others were just audio. Now we're doing video and audio. Yay! And so you can listen to it in any way that you want. But please do listen, do share, and do get up and boogie. So thanks a lot, Jeanette.
Thank you.
And until next time, folks, remember, life is about flow. It's about movement in thought, in attitude, in energy, in body, mind, heart, and soul. So get everything in the flow and get moving. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show and were inspired to come and visit us at selfdiscoverymedia.com and see what other shows we have for you. And please do visit our selfdiscoverycommunity.org and see how you can be a part of giving back. Thank you very much.